Hello and welcome back to Asia Now. My name is Alex. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. I know I am. In this video, I'll tell you about why the Philippines is stuck with high inequality, 2 new improvements for NAIA International Airport, New York judge sentences Donald Trump in hush money case, Sinulog festival kicks off, and some plane crash updates. Let's jump straight into our main story. But first, we just crossed 7,000 subscribers. Help me reach 10,000. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Here's our top story. And here's a report from the World Bank on inequality in the Philippines. The World Bank highlights that while East Asia has significantly reduced income inequality and contributed to the closing the global prosperity gap, GPG, the Philippines remains a highly unequal country. Key findings state that East Asia's prosperity gap shrank sharply due to rising incomes and inclusive growth over 30 years. The GPG dropped globally from 10.9 to 4.9, with East Asia leading the improvements. The Philippines had a Gini index of 40.7 in 2021, indicating high inequality. Some of the causes and implications are that high inequality is more common in low and middle income countries such as the Philippines. Globally, 22% of the people live in highly unequal societies. The Philippines' high inequality impacts its ability to achieve inclusive growth. The report emphasized the need for targeting policies to bridge income gaps and ensure equitable growth. Now, if you travel through the Philippines, you would have to agree that there is a large portion of the population that does still live in developing situations and not really economically prosperous compared to some other Southeast Asian countries. And this is important to note because I think mentally we can prepare ourselves how to conduct ourselves, what to be aware of, and maybe set expectations. Sometimes we forget that the Philippines is still lagging when it comes to certain things. Of course, there are some very wealthy people in the country, but also a lot of the opposite as well. I personally have seen a large, I guess it's a bit more visible to me in the Philippines compared to some other countries. So I hope that this report highlights some of those matters and the government takes initiative and does actually exactly what the report says, to have like strategic policies in place to hopefully improve the lives of everybody. And next, some interesting news from the US. President-elect Donald Trump was sentenced Friday in his hush money case, but the judge declined to impose any punishment, an outcome that cements his conviction while freeing him to return to the White House unencumbered by the threat of a jail term or a fine. Stick around till the end where I'll share some more details regarding that story. I didn't know that could be a thing where you can get actually sentenced without a punishment, but I know nothing about the law. Back to Asia and back to the Philippines, the Ninoy Aquino International Airport, NAIA, has made significant changes to its Terminal 1 arrival process. The main arrival curbside, previously reserved for VIPs, is now open to all passengers. This area includes 14 loading bays designated for private vehicles, ride-sharing services, taxis, persons with disabilities, and hotel shuttles. The changes aim to reduce congestion and improve convenience for travelers. While the system is currently in a soft launch phase, adjustments are being made to ensure a smoother experience. These upgrades are part of a larger 170 billion peso rehab project managed by New NAIA Infracorp, NNIC, which has taken over operations since September 2024. However, concerns over increased parking fees and potential future rate hikes have been raised. NNIC's management is set for 15 years, extendable by another 10 years based on performance. Staying with the Manila Airport, the operators of NAIA has introduced a new fleet of vehicles to support ground operations at the country's main gateway in a bid to improve convenience and ensure the safe and efficient flow of movements amid the reported increase of passenger volume last year. That's great news. For the past 5 months, the new NAIA Infracorp has made some significant strides to try to improve NAIA and hopefully get them from the 10 worst to the 10 best airports at some point. They've still got a long way to go, but everything starts with baby steps, so wonderful news. And then in some more aviation news, a Japan airline Airbus 350 carrying 367 passengers and 12 crew collided with a Coast Guard aircraft on Tokyo Haneda runway. Despite the severe impact and subsequent fire, all passengers survived. Evacuation primarily occurred through the 2 front exits. Communication challenges arose as smoke filled the cabin, but crew members guided passengers to safety. Investigators noticed several factors contributing to the survival, including the aircraft's intact structure and the time it took for the fire to reach the cabin. Thank goodness no casualties there, but it seems once again another disaster coming from the airline industry, but I'm glad nobody actually passed away in this case. And one last quickly aviation news, the black box holding the flight data and cockpit voice recorders for the crashed Jeju air flight that left 179 pairs stopped recording 4 minutes before the disaster. South Korea's transport ministry said on Saturday plans are in place to investigate the cause of the data loss. That is interesting. 4 minutes before actually anything happened. I wonder why that is. Next up, about 3,000 job vacancies in Taiwan, especially factory work in the semiconductor and artificial intelligence industry, are available for Filipinos, a labor attaché said on Saturday. 3,000 jobs in Taiwan. If you're a Filipino looking for a job abroad, see if you qualify. I would do some research regarding that because Taiwan is a wonderful place. Next up, the Sinulog Festival 2025 officially opens. Cebu City Mayor Raymond Alvin Garcia officially declared Sinulog Festival 2025 open after the Holy Mass at the Basilica Menor del Santo Niño de Cebu on Friday, January 10th, marking the start of the festivities. And just a reminder that Cebu City Sinulog is a vibrant annual festival in Cebu City honoring Santo Niño, the Holy Child Jesus. Held every January, it features traditional dances, colorful parades, religious processions, and lively street parties, blending faith and culture in a grand celebration. If you're in that area next week, on the 17th to 19th, it's going to be absolutely wild. Let me know if you've been to Sinulog, if you want to go, anything you want to share. Next up in Thailand, Thailand officially banned the import of plastic waste, joining Southeast Asian nations like Malaysia and Vietnam in combating toxic pollution. Exceptions are allowed only for rare cases where imported plastic is essential as raw material. This move follows the surge in plastic waste imports after China 2018 ban, which turned Thailand into a dumping ground. Environmentalists hailed the decision but stressed the need for strict enforcement to prevent illegal waste burning, with Thailand generating nearly 25 million tons of waste annually and contributing 51,000 tons of mismanaged plastic to the sea each year. The ban is a vital step towards reducing pollution and protecting ecosystems. If you don't know, a lot of countries send their trash to other countries because they don't want to deal with it. They don't have the space, they don't want to burn it, they don't want to do anything about it. And I'm sure there's a whole bunch of other stuff I don't know about, but luckily for Thailand and this country, they no longer accept waste coming into the country. At least that's what they say to us. Who knows what happens behind closed doors. If you've been to Thailand, you would know that they don't really care regarding plastic use. There's plastic inside of plastic inside of plastic. Unlike many other countries, them just don't care. So in some ways for me, I like that because it's very convenient, but you can't deny the fact that there's absolutely no need for that. A lot of things are just plasticed up. And then here are the details regarding Donald Trump's sentencing. President-elect Donald Trump was sentenced Friday in his hush money case, but the judge declined to impose any punishment, an outcome that cements his conviction while freeing him to return to the White House, unencumbered by the threat of a jail term or a fine. The punishment-free judgment marks a quiet end to an extraordinary case that for the first time put a former president and major potential candidate in a courtroom as criminal defendant. The case was the only one of 4 criminal indictments that has gone to trial and possibly the only one that ever will. Manhattan Judge Juan M. Marchand could have sentenced the 78-year-old Republican to up to 4 years in prison. Instead, he chose a sentence that sidestepped thorny constitutional issues by effectively ending the case, but assured that Trump will become the first person convicted of a felony to assume the presidency. Unlike his trial last year when Trump brought allies to the courthouse and addressed waiting reporters outside the courthouse, the former president did not appear in person Friday, instead making a brief virtual appearance from his home in Palm Beach, Florida. Trump, wearing a dark suit and seated next to one of his lawyers with an American flag in the background, appeared on a video screen as he again insisted he did not commit a crime. Quote, "It has been a political witch hunt. It was done to damage my reputation so that I would lose the elections, and obviously that it didn't work," Trump said. Trump called the case, quote, "a weaponization of government," end quote, and quote, "an embarrassment to New York," end quote. And a whole lot more that I'm not going to read, but definitely something that's interesting. If you're curious about that case, you can look into it yourself. And now it's time for our segment Yesterday Today, where I go ahead and read some of the most popular comments regarding a previous video. I'd like to start off by giving a shout out to Brian 1979 at Live. "Hi Alex, hope you nice and warm. It's -7 degrees here in Elgin, Scotland, UK. Love the videos. Keep up the brilliant work, my friend. I also love Manila and Cebu. I've been coming there from 2016. The women are so beautiful. Please give me a shout out. Thanks, mate." Well, shout out to you, Brian. Lauren says, China waives short-term economic gain at the expense of the future of the Philippines. It is not the alliance with the U.S. that is the problem. The problem is China not respecting the sovereign territory of the Philippines. Without the U.S. alliance, how long could the Philippines stand against Chinese aggression in the West Philippine Sea alone? NAIA says Chinese tourist decline is all over the world and not just the Philippines. Their very own cities has been affected. I agree. And Gerald says, as I see it in the Philippines, when purchasing a used vehicle, the bureaucratic process to register a used vehicle is exhausting because a person has to go around to many agencies and financial institutions and medical to receive the or CR registration. I am not kidding when I say I had to go back and forth to 10 places. That's very likely why they are fixers everywhere. If the process gets streamlined, then there will be less fixers. And that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, take a second out of your day. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, consider why does this always happen? You know what? I put the phone on my lap and then it just kind of like plays something random and it scares the heck out of me. Anyhow, as I was saying, hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and if you really want to show your support, consider buying me a coffee. I've left the link in the description of my channel and in the video, and maybe I'll see you guys tomorrow. If I do, it won't be like new stuff, it'll be just like a random topic. Once a week I do that, usually on Sundays, and I am rambling, as always. Bye.